The echo provided by Tristan Vick. All right. So this segment we're going to talk to Dan Crook about the World Cup. We get a little bit of a preview of that small soccer tournament coming up next season. What does that mean for FC Dallas? Before we started, look who else the cat dragged in. It's Armand Kafai.
Can they see me through there? Like, I don't
know. The stream can see you. The podcast folks can't see you.
Oh, well. Hey, podcast folks. You can. I know. It's been a long time. I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Before Jonathan joined the show, Armand was kind of the.
I was your predecessor.
Yeah.
Before things went downhill.
So if you're just joining us, there's a little bit of history on stage right now. It's Armand. We did a lot of goofy things with Armand. We had a signing video whenever he joined the show, and then what else did we do? Oh, I think my favorite moment with Armand was going out to Dallas Sidekicks practice, and
dude, that was in the middle of like. I've driven by that place a couple of times. I just get like PTSD.
Yeah,
it's by it.
It's
it's not a great place.
Yeah,
it's not a great place.
The
Hernandez
brothers.
Yeah, Moises, and I have no idea what his brother's name was.
Joshua.
There you go.
I think. Yeah, it's a good time. So what have you been up to lately, Armand? You left the show.
I left media in general.
You have to do what?
So I mean, I had an internship with the team with FC Dallas as like a video and data guy, and then they brought me on part time for 2021, and then Nico wanted to bring me back on, so I was part time again for 2022. So that's why you haven't seen my name in any media or anything like that. I've been kind of low key, just talking about basketball or something like that on Twitter.
Been crunching numbers for FC
Yeah,
Dallas.
exactly. Something like that on a part time basis.
Okay.
It's been good.
Yes. He actually had a basketball podcast, so
it was like one episode. It wasn't actually like a basketball. It was just one episode. It's okay.
It's one more than I had.
Cool. All right. Well, with us also from thirddegree.net is the podcast.
You gotta introduce him as newly married man.
Newly married.
Oh wow.
Dan Crook. How's it going, Dan?
That last segment, the first thing I should say is Thomas Roberts.
That's good. We
Rest in
finally
peace.
had that.
He's a Thomas Roberts propaganda machine over here.
Yeah. He'll have to find a new club.
You are his dad.
All right. Okay, so the United States made the World Cup this time.
Surprise, huh?
All right. We
Yeah,
got something.
he's saying it's like 20 minutes left.
Okay. Last call.
Okay.
Last call.
I got my beer, so
I'm good here too. You go get your.
All right. Well, Roz is
all right. Roz is.
Yeah, so they qualified for the World Cup.
Yes.
Which is a soccer tournament being held in the middle of the Middle East.
Yeah, not exactly the greatest place.
No, but it's still happening.
Yeah, I mean,
and the best part of
are
that.
we excited for it?
So I'm excited for the games. I'm excited for like seeing some players get to prove themselves on what could be their last World Cup, like Neymar and Messi and Ronaldo get a chance to win that. But in terms of the tournament overall, you kind of have to like watch it kind of squinting and realizing like what went on to get this place or get to this place, I guess, to get them the tournament in Qatar. But I mean, I'm excited. Are you not?
I mean, I am minus the 4 a.m. games. Those are going to be brutal.
Yeah, I mean,
and so like, I'm also.
It's also the winter, which is a little different.
I'm also torn because I'm a U.S. fan. My family's from Iran, so I have to watch both those games. I have to watch them play each other, which has some beef with my dad.
It'll be a fun family moment.
Yeah, it'll be a nice little moment. But I mean, it's weird because like it's the World Cup happening in the winter. Players are getting injured. It's the one thing that I guess I'm trying to talk myself into is the fact that travel is a lot less because it's in Qatar. It's a small country. Maybe that'll maximize the players' performances. You know, they don't have to travel. Like in Brazil, I know someone go from like the bottom of the country to like the top of the country. Like maybe all spread out.
Russia had a couple.
Kind of like the bubble, like, you know, in the NBA, like a lot of things were like, hey, there's not that much travel going on, so people are just able to focus on basketball. Obviously, it's not the same, but I'm kind of subscribing to that theory in the hopes of like, we'll have great games, even though it's in not the greatest place, you know.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I think the travel times will definitely help with that. But I also think that it's just going to be a different atmosphere.
It's just
Which
weird,
might-
man.
I don't know. England's probably got the most expectations of any team in terms of they reached the finals of the Euros, lost on penalties to Italy, who didn't even make the tournament. So, Dan, as the resident Brit, do you feel like they have the most pressure? Or who's your? There's a betting favorite, and then there's the public favorite.
I think what you got to remember is with England, it doesn't matter how good or bad the team is. The expectations are.
It's coming home.
Well, it's even if they win, they were terrible. They're a disgrace to the country. They're all getting shot on sight. Yeah, it's gonna be a weird one. You've seen too many players drop out. No, I'm gonna double mic for a second. Was it that bad?
Yeah.
You have to hold the mic up to your
Yeah, hold it like this.
board up. Yeah.
So the old hanging one.
What I'm curious, so if we break down the matchups, right? I mean, nobody cares about the first group. Senegal was had the
Well,
best.
we should care about
Saudi
the first group if we advance.
Well, sure. I think that Sadio
We
Mane
mean
was the
Iran or
player to
we
watch. With
States.
Senegal actually had a pretty good team, and with him out and injured and kind of just there as like a potential threat and not a guaranteed threat, it's kind of sucks for the hopes for an African team to advance far. But so let's get to Group B. England has arguably its deepest squad that it's had in years. Do you think, other than center back, that there's a real weakness? And if so, how will the U.S. exploit it and make them look embarrassed the day after Thanksgiving?
When you say the team's the deepest it's been in years, I don't think you've really got that Wayne Rooney, Steven Gerrard, Tony Adams type who can kind of lead the team through
Like a
thick and
veteran?
thin. Yeah, I mean, our talisman is Harry Kane, who
You wouldn't follow
Still
Harry
okay.
into battle?
no, I wouldn't understand him for one, but
A ringing endorsement.
He's a mouth breather, right?
well, the problem I think is the team kind of lives and dies by how well he plays, and you've seen with Tottenham this year, you've seen and last year, when he's out of form, he's out of form.
It's true.
I'm just really looking forward to Good Friday. Sorry, Black Friday, which is the real Good Friday. Let's be honest. Yeah, we'll have some fun at 2:00 on Good Friday. 1:00 Friday. So 1:00.
So
Let's talk about that group that the
so there's another team, the United States.
United States is in that one.
So Pepe got left off the squad, Ricardo Pepe. And that was kind of a blow for FC Dallas fans. But I think if anybody had been following the strikers abroad and just in general, they knew that was always going to potentially be an option and something that could happen. Surprise inclusion with Haji Wright, which
He's been in form though. It's kind of crazy.
he has. And if you're saying you've been watching a lot of the Turkish league, we know you're lying. But I did watch some highlights of YouTube, and like he actually like looks like a great like target man striker to have on the bench at least.
I think the problem is Greg Barhart's explanation was Pepe was competing with Jesus, not with Haji Wright.
Yeah, he had like
He was out-
different seats on the plane that you're fighting for
Yeah,
this. You're in
they were
this,
seat.
and then Areola was fighting with
Morris probably, yeah.
Morris.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Thing is as well, then when someone pressed him further, he said, "Well, Haji Wright plays in a tougher league." Cool. So what you're saying is, to quote Peter Webton, Haji Wright is the tallest kindergartner. There are two players who are scoring well, saying one player's in a harder league when really they're both in kind of weaker, second, third tier European leagues. You need a little bit more of a breakdown than that. The thing that people have been saying is Haji Wright is friendlier with the players than Pepe. At a World Cup, you definitely need more of a together locker room.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know from FC Dallas, Pepe's not a disruptor by any means. So maybe
He held the door for me several weeks in a row. It's my
sell one trophy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little bit surprised. I'd totally forgotten about Haji Wright, to be honest. But then I saw his name and like looked up what he'd been doing. Like, it's an impressive work. I mean, he's definitely being pretty consistent. I would say Ricardo has the tendency to get sometimes one-dimensional, whereas Wright Haji is able to kind of get you a goal if you need one. And there was the other guy in the conversation was Jordan Pifot, which he kind of cooled off. I think was what Greg
Yeah.
Berhalter said. Was he was kind of like, he's not as
He
hot.
hasn't scored in a couple months or something like that.
I mean, but at the end of the day, like, are these people really going to make the difference between whether the U.S. loses or wins? I don't think so. I think that's going to be up to the performance of the key players, right? So, Little Elm Zone, Weston McKinney's coming off a little bit of a knock, but I think he'll be fit. How important is that midfield trio? We're finally all healthy.
I mean, it's key, man. It's like it's the engine that keeps the team going, right?
Yeah.
Like here's the thing, like, will McKennie start the first game? Do we know that for sure? I'm not sure. I mean, you could see Aronson there. I think Aronson's a more than like viable option in that middle spot. I mean, we saw him. He was announced as a midfielder, not as an attacker. He was announced as a midfielder. 12 man was like, oh, you're here for a surprise. That was the quote unquote surprise in the middle. So, I mean, they're the key, man. They're like, I think the midfield engine's a key because that's where like a lot of the pressing comes from. That's where the best players are. They're in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, my thing with the middle is Tyler Adams is so important, right? So
100%.
Tyler
He's
Adams
been
is on.
crazy in form too with Leeds.
Mm-hmm. I think that's really good for the U.S. But like, what are your expectations for this team? I'll let you answer first because I still haven't really pinned myself down on an answer. But
I'm gonna go. Okay, look, I
For the
think
US,
they
that
can
is.
get out of the group.
and then you can give me an England prediction as
You think
well.
they-
Just 'cause
They get ahead of Wales.
it's
I,
fun.
I think they will get ahead. I think they'll get ahead of Wales. I think Iran will give them some trouble. Iran has the most. You can make the argument they have the most informed forward in the group with Mehdi Taremi. He's been scoring plenty of goals in the Champions League, and the way they play, the U.S. I think may struggle against them in that capacity because they do like to sit back a lot, quite a bit. In terms of like U.S. England, like I think a draw. I think a draw is what we foresee, or I foresee.
Win one again.
Yeah, something like that. We'll celebrate on Black Friday.
That's a headline from 2010. It was a
Yeah,
U.S. beats
beats
England
1-1.
1-1,
Oh,
Yeah.
Packers in
and England put
England,
that
yep.
on there.
that's funny.
but I mean, for the World Cup itself, like I think the U.S. can make it out of the group. I think they can make it out of the round of 16. I mean, depending if they play the Dutch or
The Dutch is
Senegal.
probably the toughest team.
Yeah,
in that
and I
Group
think
A,
they
but yeah.
can beat them. Like, I think it's the next round where they might struggle. I can't remember. I was literally looking at it today. I can't remember who they were, who the other possibilities were.
So the other side of the bracket is actually the weakest side, in my opinion. I think the best team in the group C and D is, oh gosh, now you caught me off guard, but I believe
Yeah,
it's, I think maybe France, but no, France
think-
is in the bottom. Never mind, they're in the other groups. It's a pretty weak group. I mean, there's nobody that really.
Yeah, it's nothing. It's like
here's
crazy.
one, Argentina.
Yeah, Argentina's Group C. So yeah, so like, I mean that's. I think
So
that's
quarterfinals would be like
I'd be really
exceeding expectations.
correct. That's for
Alright.
me at least.
Am I the only person here who doesn't have them getting out of the group?
It has what? Not
I-
getting out of the
I
group.
don't have them getting out of the group.
You have Wales going ahead of
No,
them.
Wales is crap.
Yeah.
I don't think Wales is going
I
to go
don't
ahead
know.
of them.
Well, not Wales. Iran.
You think Iran's going to go ahead
I
of them?
think so. I think they got a dark horse chance.
They do. No, they genuinely do because of like just how cohesive they play as a unit. And I think that's their biggest thing. They're going to frustrate
The
teams.
challenge they'll have though is that
But
there's a lot
I
of
think
little
England will get-
players that may or may not be with them because of.
Well, they are. They all are.
protests.
They all
Yeah,
are.
they
They
got
all
the
are. Yeah, yeah.
protests.
They announced their roster yesterday, and they're all are with the team. There's there's none of that.
You
Like,
know, political.
well, I'm
issues.
surprised there wasn't.
Yeah.
I'm surprised there wasn't. But
Kieras gave them permission to protest. Will that cause a disruption in the team itself?
I don't think so. Like, sorry, the Maverick game is going on here, and I think Luka just hit a 3. So shout out Mavs. But no, it won't. There's two guys who are more like kind of nationalists that support the regime that are going on right now, but the other 24 players don't. So I don't think that will cause an issue or anything. You probably won't see them sing the anthem. I don't even know the anthem. I know the old Iran anthem. I don't know the new one. You probably will see them, do things that maybe they won't celebrate goals or something like that. But I don't think it'll be a genuine distraction or anything like that. I think they're gonna play as a cohesive unit that's very defensive, but this time around they have a very strong attack, which is just crazy. As we're all watching the Mavs game, but no, I think Iran can cause issues. I think they will cause issues, but I don't think it'll be enough. I think the U.S. will have enough to.
I got a question for Nico over there. Nico's a
Yeah, what's
si-
Nico? I didn't
silent-
hear you.
Call him.
I can see you.
Okay, so Nico is a unabashed Mexico fan, and so Nico,
Biased.
how far do you see Mexico getting?
Oh, I was afraid you'd ask me that question.
Nobody can hear him.
Oh, we lost Nico here in the booth on stage.
He's saying
Yeah,
they
you-
won't make it out of the group.
You
saying
you
they'll
said
drag it,
Mexico
you
and everything fell apart.
He's saying they'll lose to Poland, be Poland,
Oh, we got
Argentina.
technical difficulties here.
It's a
Ooh,
possibility, yeah.
That's real fun.
All right, Nico, hold your hand up. Hold your hand up if you think you get like they're getting to the fifth round.
The fifth round?
The
I don't
fifth
know.
round?
I-
What is the fifth
Okay,
round?
this is the part of the show where we cut Dustin's mic. Nico, will Mexico make it out of the group? Raise your hand.
Oof.
No.
Oh, this-
Ooh,
oh.
I'm with him.
I
I'm
mean,
with
dude, they
him.
have Argentina and Poland. That's a tough group.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not talking about Saudi because they're not going to do anything, but
So for those listening on the podcast,
Are you still
and
able
not
to hear me or
he,
not?
he raised his hand, made the international sign. So we'll
Which
see
in
then.
times would have not quite killed the gladiators, but would have just fired them.
Right.
So Dustin, you're saying the US doesn't and it's Wales and England?
England, Iran.
Okay. With
That's
England
my
topping the
bracket.
group? England topping?
Yeah,
The group-
England's topping.
Okay. Dan.
I'd take that, but no, I think the US gets out.
Who went and then with who? England?
Sorry. Yeah, I think England. You know, not to be a homer, but England should
It's okay.
do well out
We're
this
friendly
group.
here.
It's not.
it's coming home. It's coming home. That's what you're saying.
It's coming home. That's a bit. It's not like an expectation of anything.
I did mention your depth in midfield. I am a little worried. The starting midfield last year at the Euros had Calvin Phillips in almost every match, and he has played like no minutes. I mean, I was surprised he was on the squad.
Oh no, mate.
I was like, he doesn't play anymore.
That was the kind of joke at Luton Town. That our players, we have our best midfielder had played 6 fewer Premier League minutes than Calvin Phillips. How didn't he get called up?
That's fair.
All I have to say is that now that Dustin has said U.S. is out and Iran is in,
He's actually been fired.
I'm going to quit the pod. So I'm sorry, Dustin. This is my last episode.
Nice.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry.
Alrighty, can you hear me now?
All right.
So
let's
I've decided U.S. is going to top the
Yep.
group.
Okay.
Mhm.
I think
So
that
nothing.
Harry Kane's form is going to England will only go as far as Harry Kane can get them. And I think they will draw their first match. No. Yes, draw the first match against Iran, draw against America, but beat Wales.
Okay.
So I think they'll get 5 points. And I think the United States will bow in the round of 16.
So, do you feel that the back line may be the undoing of the United States?
Yes, because yes, mainly due to the fact that on the side of the field, there's a little bit of too many people that can fit that role, and Greg tinkers too much. And if there is one thing you know about the United States at World Cups, it's that we always get off to a slow or very fast start, one way or the other. We're either getting beat immediately or we're beating somebody else immediately. And so that's the gamble you have with us, is that we're a very hot and cold team. I just hope that because the fact that we've literally lost a generation of soccer players in the United States with not making the 18 World Cup means that all of that is gone now and we're a totally different team. I'm hopeful, but I'm not optimistic. And also, this is a team that will all theoretically be on the team next year or next time.
Test,
Right.
test.
Well, any last words on the World Cup?
Nope.
Okay. Well,
No last
I think it's
words.
about time to call it an evening here. Nico,
Closing time.
I don't know. I don't know if you're on there.
Are you guys able to hear me now?
Last words. Can you? We can't hear
Still
you
nothing?
here, but
Ooh,
any last words that you want to tell the folks that can actually hear you?
I mean, for those online, it was absolutely wonderful being able to bring stuff to you guys. So appreciate all the support.
I think he's done. All right. Yes. Thumbs
Hey,
up. He's done.
Let me take over real quick. I want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart, Dustin, Roz, Kristen. I mean, you too. Hey, I remember when you were a dog. You were like not a dog, like you were a dog Twitter profile picture. So
Oh yeah, I
yeah,
remember
you were a
that.
dog Twitter profile picture. So I remember
That was
those
good
days.
stuff.
I'm really feeling
Yeah.
this.
I remember those days. But hey, you guys, like this has been a great run. Happy to see what's next. I mean, obviously you guys have normal lives and stuff like that,
They
but
told us not to quit our day jobs. So
yeah, I'm surprised by that.
It was an unfortunate ACL injury by Dustin while he was playing hockey, but other than that, everything's good.
No, but you guys have been brilliant, and the Dallas soccer community is gonna lose pretty a strong member of the community. So cheers to you guys, man, and love y'all.
thank you.
Keep Xbox Labs going. So definitely, and do some written stuff. I'm just although this is the final destination, and we're really upset about that. Really happy that I can take a week off from third degree and one of you guys can jump in for me.
I just wanted to
There you go.
announce that I've been signed on to season 3 of Ted Lasso, so I might be able to swing the laughs.
TV thing. To the
Yeah, I'm taking the
direction,
real Apple TV money.
Yeah. To answer you, we are all free agents now. So, all right. Roz, last words.
No, this is great. I mean, this all started with Dustin walking up to me while I was in a 2 or 3 hour delay at an FC Dallas game with a bunch of rain going on and saying, "Hey, Jonathan, I saw you on Twitter. You want to talk about some lineup stuff on DSS? I saw your dog picture on Twitter and it was off the hook." He's like, "That's the reason I talked to you." But yes, it's been fun. I mean, it's
Yeah, we started with lineup prediction shows on YouTube.
and 3 years later, here we are at Three Nations, drinking some beer, having some fun, and saying goodbye to one hell of a podcast.
All right. Tristan,
Yeah.
last words.
I would just say I'm glad that everybody listened and enjoyed it. Nobody ever said, "Man, you guys need to shut up and stop doing this
The
thing."
one random Twitter guy said that
And-
one time.
Oh, really? See, I don't read tweets.
Apparently, Tristan's DMs were not open.
My agent told me, like, when I was negotiating my Ted Lasso deal, they were like, "Don't read your DMs and your replies." No, I'm just really glad that. I mean, we lived like 5 minutes. I live like 5 minutes from the stadium, so I'm a pretty big hypocrite if I don't actually like support the club in terms of liking soccer or football. And so I was like, I'm gonna get involved, and that's what we did. We might still release some stuff in the future, like watch this space, but it's not going to be as regular. And so, oh, Nico's on the phone. Yeah, I mean, that's what I would say is that it was good to like follow the club because we are so close and it's been fun. So I hope that everybody's enjoyed it. And yeah, watch next year because I think FC Dallas is going to have a really good season next year.
Yeah.
Just putting that out there.
Yeah, I think it's important to notice that we're not completely turning the feed off. It's still going to be there. We may still have some special projects or something. If one of us gets an itch to say something, well, it'll still be here. But like for a weekly show, I think we're pretty well done. So, for me, man, this has been as much of a roller coaster as FC Dallas fandom has been. Like the ups and downs, just like the busy times of just trying to like grind out episodes. The thing that stands out to me is just like how much support we've been given over the past 5 years from everybody that we've met in this community. Like, from Dan, from Buzz to third degree, Steve Davis has been awesome. You should go read his World Cup columns on World Soccer Talk. He's gonna be pumping some stuff out there. just like everybody that we've met along this journey has been awesome to us. There are people here at Three Nations with us that like, I mean, they just came out to drink a beer and listen and hang out with us and support us. And I just can't thank everybody who's listened enough. Roberto Silva's here. He's been Roberto, come on the show. Like he's been producing this for us. He's I don't know what your title at the Striker is, but Roberto brought us into the Striker last year. Thank you, Roberto, for all the support you've given us, and the partnership we've had there has been super fun. Trying to do our small part to help soccer in Texas. But yeah, thank you.
I think you guys. I think what you do, especially all of you guys with a day job. I this is my day job, so it's easy for me to be doing this work. But you guys have a day job, have family, and you give your own time to make this happen. And this is what soccer in the U.S. is all about, right? It is community, it's us being together, and that's what the Striker is trying to do also a lot. It's bring everybody together. And there's no I don't have enough words to thank you guys, and that's why I made sure to make the drive here to be with you guys. I know it's a special day for you. We're gonna miss you next year, and I hope I can convince you different wise moving forward. But I know the wives are listening to this and we're not gonna like it, but
My
anyways,
wife's not listening to this.
but anyways, thank you very much, guys. Thank you for what you have done. I do want to plug a little bit of marketing here. Just want you to so everybody can own this Striker. We think that this is something done for the community, and this can be owned by the community also. So go to WeFounder.com/this Striker, and you can be part of this for as low as $250. So that's pretty cool to bring everybody together. But again, we can only do this if people subscribe to the Striker, and we love people that support local soccer. That's what we all are.
All right. So a few hours ago when we started this, I made a joke. I don't know if it was on air or not about this being the Dustin Soccer Show, and I'm not gonna stop before I say I know that Dustin, you and Tristan started this. You talked about how Tristan got you into soccer and got you excited about doing a podcast, but I mean, I know Tristan was there with you early on, has been on and off through the years. And you talk about Armand, who's next to you, coming in and covering for a while, and then myself coming in the last couple of years. But man, you're the heart and soul of this podcast, and there's absolutely no way that this thing would have gone 5 years and 100 and whatever freaking episodes there is.
63rd.
163 episodes. This may be cut into more than one,
Yeah,
FYI.
that too.
But man, it's been awesome. I mean, you're a super genuine, awesome, nice guy. It's like one of those people that, I mean, if it wasn't a podcast, if it was I was working with you, or you're like my buddy from high school, or you're the guy I was went to church with, you're the guy that like everybody wants to just kind of spend some time with. And it's been great. I think that we would have not made it 5 years without your focus. And man, I know I was super happy that I've had this time with you, and I know the other guys too. This is DSS would have not have made it if it wasn't for your focus the last few years. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Jonathan. That's very sweet. Like I don't know. I don't have a response.
You
to
don't
that.
have to.
Yeah.
So last episode, you can soak it up, man.
All right.
Just soak it up. Say yes, I am.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
No, it's been fun.
yeah, I don't think. I mean, you can still the Twitter account's still there. Striker.com, thirddegree.net. I don't know. Armand's doing his own thing. Like, yeah,
ArmandAnalytics.com.
like just I guess my parting words would be support your FC Dallas media, whether like they work hard, all of them, and with a lot of them put in a lot of sacrifices, and like we're thankful for everything that they've sacrificed to help us, and we want to like push people towards them and help keep them lifting them up. So yeah, go FCD.
And we have
Nico, do you have?
This is
Oh,
good podcasting right
this
now.
is-
We
yeah.
have we're live broadcasting a phone call to Dustin.
We are broadcasting a phone call. Can you hear me, Dustin?
I got you, Nico.
Awesome. No, what I was trying to say earlier is, man, really appreciate you taking the time out of your
I'm
busy life.
guessing it
and
has
knowing
something to do with nuclear
you're-
physics.
that you're raising a family. I mean, I remember, my very first time kind of starting off with all this. You were one of the more friendly faces within the press box. So, I mean, taking the time to really help me out
This
there.
technical break brought to you by.
Yeah, no, you definitely taking the time. I mean, dude, you invited me into your house when I was moving up here to Michigan, so I mean that speaks absolutely volumes about your character, to do a whole episode. I mean, really making me feel like a family out here. So massive kudos to you, man. Massive props. Really appreciate you taking the time and patience on some crazy nuclear physics kid that moved all the way across the country to the middle of nowhere to blow stuff up. So massive kudos, man. Congratulations, and wishing you the best of luck, and appreciate all that you've done, not only for me, but for the soccer community as well.
Thank you so much. Thanks for all the contributions and giving us something to laugh about with Eric Quill.
You know it, man. Of
That's a,
course,
that's a
not a
good, I
problem.
think that's a good way to sign off right there.
There you go. Running bit,
All
Eric
right.
Quill. All right,
Thank you, everybody. Dallas Soccer Show out.